You know that feeling, right? When you're the last one in a quiet building late at night, every little creak, every shadow seems to jump out at you. But what happens when that feeling, that fear, turns out to be real? Tonight, we're going to break down exactly what happened at Eden Hill School, an encounter that started with a late-night study session and ended in absolute terror. Those are the chilling words from the student at the very center of this story. One single choice, a decision to stay just a little bit later, and it unlocked a nightmare that they were in no way prepared to face. So to really understand what's lurking in those hallways, we have to go back to the beginning of that night, back to a silent library and the final few moments of calm before everything went wrong. Look, we've all been there. It's finals week, the pressure is on, our student just needed to cram. And where else do you go for that kind of intense focus but the school library? But here's the thing, here's the crucial detail. The library usually closes at 5 o'clock sharp, but for exams, the school extended the hours all the way to midnight. A nice gesture, right? A totally harmless decision that would unknowingly set the stage for everything that was about to happen. So the student gets there around 6, completely in the zone. You know how it is, head down, buried in books. Hours just melt away. They were so focused, they didn't even notice the other students packing up and leaving, one by one, until all the background noise just stopped. And a deep, unsettling quiet fell over the room. They were completely and totally alone. It's a thought we've all had. Almost done. Just a few more pages, a few more notes, and I'm out of here. A simple plan. Pack up, go home. But that heavy silence, it was just about to be broken. And this is the exact moment an ordinary, stressful night turns into a living nightmare. Because the quiet isn't shattered by a loud crash or a yell. It's broken by something far, far more sinister. Think about that sound. Not walking, not shuffling papers, limping. That uneven, dragon scrape sound echoing from somewhere deep in the dark rows of books. It's a sound that's just fundamentally wrong. It bypasses all your rational thought and hits you right in that primal part of your brain that screams, danger. And instantly, that's what took over. No time to think, no time to reason. The brain just registered pure, unfiltered danger. That ancient survival instinct, fight or flight, it just seized control. And the choice was crystal clear. Flight. Run. The books, the laptop, the notes, none of it mattered. Who cares? The only goal was to get out. They bolted from the table, out of the library, and into that long, dark school corridor. The only thing in their mind was the exit. And freedom was so close. You could see it. Just get to the end of the hall, make a right, and push through the front doors. But the school, it wasn't done with them yet. There was one more obstacle waiting in the shadows. As they were sprinting towards the doors, they just froze. At the far end of the hallway, a silhouette. A woman. Just standing there. Perfectly still. And even though they had no idea who she was, this immediate, ice-cold dread just washed over them. They tried to make it make sense, you know? They called out into the darkness. But there was no answer. Instead, the figure just disappeared. 1 second she was there. The next, she was gone. As if she'd just melted into thin air. Your brain will do anything to protect you, right? It scrambles for a rational explanation. I'm just exhausted. It's a trick of the light. Anything but the terrifying truth. So, with a shaky sigh of relief, the student shoved open the front doors and stepped outside, thinking the whole ordeal was finally over. But really, it had only just begun. Because the second they got outside, the world felt wrong. The street, which should have had cars, maybe a few people walking around, was impossibly, unnervingly empty. That feeling of being alone just became absolute. In a total panic, they just started walking, fast, staring at their feet. And that's when they saw it. A shadow on the pavement, long and distorted, stretching out towards them. But when they looked up, there was nobody there to cast it. Absolutely no one. And then they looked again. And there she was, the woman. And this time they could see her clearly. She had that same awful, troubled limp. Her clothes were tattered and filthy, and as they got closer, they saw the truly horrifying details.
Her hands and feet were contorted, twisted into shapes that just aren't natural. The woman stopped. Her mouth was moving, like she was asking something, but the student couldn't hear it. Frozen in pure terror, they just pointed. Anywhere, it didn't matter, just to get her to go away. And as the woman started to limp off, the student turned and ran. That's when a terrifying scream ripped through the night. "She is here." The student collapsed, and everything went black.
When the student woke up, a neighbor who had found them passed out on the sidewalk was there, and they explained the truth. This encounter wasn't random. It was a tragedy that had been playing out for decades.
So let's go back. The year is 1998. A woman named Agatha loses her 10-year-old daughter in a horrible accident right there at Eden Hill School. Overcome with grief, her spirit never left. For more than 20 years, people have seen her ghost walking the halls, wandering the streets, forever searching for the child she lost.
And that changes everything, doesn't it? This wasn't a monster hunting a victim. This was a heartbroken mother who was simply hoping. That limping figure, the chase, even that terrible scream, it was all the desperate act of a grieving mother who, for just one fleeting moment, thought she had finally found her long-lost daughter.
And this just leaves us with one last, chilling thought. Maybe the most terrifying ghosts aren't born from evil or from malice. Maybe they're born from a pain so deep, it just refuses to die. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many hauntings that we think of as stories of horror are actually stories of a love that's just too powerful to ever let go?